I have a creepy story that involves the time I saw Barack Obama. This was back in
Halloween store in San Antonio, Texas. And one day, these two women come to my store. They shop around, they buy some stuff.
Of the heavy wooden door creaking open and dragging across the wooden floor. I was like, what?
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. Welcome back to another spooky story time. And yes, to answer you guys' question, I did get married. We'll talk about that another time. But today we're getting into some spooky story time. I hope you're ready. Keep the lights on.
I have a creepy story that involves the time I saw Barack Obama. This was back in 2015. It was my junior year in high school. This was in Las Vegas. And if you went to Del Sol, he had came and basically gave a speech at Del Sol. I don't know why, but I don't even remember why, but yeah. Week before everybody in the whole school knew, things got super strict. We were told what we could wear on the day of. We were told how to act. If you had any kind of behavioral disciplinaries going on, you were not able to come. Things were very strict. They was on our neck. The creepy part involved Obama's Secret Service men. So fast forward to the day of, there is this huge line all throughout the parking lot. Obama originally came to deliver his speech in the auditorium, the gymnasium. The gymnasium is kind of a little walk away from the parking lot, but still the line went throughout the parking lot onto the sidewalk and down the street. That it was that many people there to see Obama. Like, it was insane. What happened scared me. It definitely, what happened the day that we saw Obama confirmed to me that humans do not walk alone. So we're in the parking lot, the very front of the parking lot. So we basically made it through the whole line. It's been like 4 hours we'd have made it through this line. And we're going into the front doors, but before you get through the doors for the metal detectors, the Secret Service men, they're wanding you down. Obviously, I'm in high school, I got a homegirl. My homegirl has a dude she's talking to. This dude is the most irritating specimen ever. Bro is super duper irritating. I forget exactly what he said, but he passively threatened the Secret Serviceman. It was the dumbest. I'm not going to say that I'm gonna just call him security. I'm not going to say that Obama's security was bad, bad. I didn't feel any bad until this. But the minute that threat was perceived in his mind, his whole aura just grew dark. His whole aura grew dark. And then he lowered his glasses. And it's what we saw. Like on some anime stuff, bro was a villain. He lowered his glasses and his eyes were pitch black. It gave a warning. Like, you don't want, like, ooh. I'm dead getting chills, bro.
My dad recently told me the story about the scariest thing that's ever happened to him. And while it's not the scariest story I've ever heard, I still love the story because it's my dad. And he is such an analytical and scientific-minded person. He does not believe in the supernatural. So the fact that he still can't explain what happened nearly 50 years later is creepy to me. In 1978, he bought his first house back when houses cost 2 twigs and a berry. He was just out of college. The house cost $46,000 and it was in Harvey, Illinois. It's not a great area now. It was not a great area back then, but it was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. The house was originally built as a 2-bedroom, but there was an addition added on with a master bedroom, which was where my dad slept. Whoever the original owners of the house were hadn't installed the addition properly, or maybe the house just settled. But either way, the addition sank in the foundation. So in order to get into the bedroom, you had to lift the door over a ledge. And even then, it would slide and make a dragging sound across the floor. It was on my dad's list of things to fix, but he could handle it. My dad's a big guy. At the time, he was about 6'3", and he was about 260. It was a heavy wooden door, but my dad was athletic. He played a ton of sports, so it was not the end of the world. He had lived in the house for a few weeks, okay? He was not dating anyone. He had no roommates. Nobody else had a key to the house. He slept with his bedroom door closed. He was in bed one night, sleeping on his side facing away from the bedroom door. He woke up to the sound of the heavy wooden door creaking open and dragging across the wooden floor. I was like, "What'd you do?" He was like, "I laid there. I pretended like I was asleep so that if somebody was going to jump on the bed and attack me, I would be ready and I would just turn and attack them." He had nothing to protect himself by the bed. He did not turn to face the door, and he just laid there waiting. He said the seconds passed excruciatingly slow while he was waiting for someone to walk in the room, but he never heard any footsteps. He waited for what felt like an eternity, but he didn't hear any noises coming from the hallway, and eventually he just fell back asleep. When he woke up in the morning, he thought the whole thing was a dream, but he turned over and saw the bedroom door was in fact open. Not just a little bit, opened all the way, pushed against the wall. So he gets up to check the house because he thinks he's been robbed, but he's surprised to find that all of the doors are still locked. All of the windows are latched from inside. There's no broken window, nowhere where anyone could have gotten in and then locked it from the inside on their way out. Nothing was missing. And he said that's what disturbed him the most because he fully believes that someone was in the house that night, but he doesn't know why or how they got in. Obviously, I don't think there's any answers to be found, but I did tell him I was going to post this story and let him know what people thought. So please feel free to share what you think happened, and I will be passing these along to my dad. Keep sending me your spooky, scary stories. I have a ton that I'm posting this week.
Spooky story time. This happened to me, and we're going to call it The Medium. So I am a small business owner of a year-round Halloween store in San Antonio, Texas. And one day, these two women come to my store. They shop around, they buy some stuff, and as they're getting ready to leave, one of the sisters kind of comes back and she looks at me and she's like, "Hey, how do you feel about psychic mediums, paranormal, spirits? Do you believe in that stuff?" And I said, "Look around. Of course I do. I believe in all of it." So she comes right back into the store and her sister's like, "Here we go." And she tells me, "My name is so-and-so and I'm a psychic medium." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "And I ask you something." And I said, "Let it rip, sister. Go ahead." And she said, "There is someone standing behind you. And he's tall. He's slim. He has tattoos on his head, on his neck. He has tattoos everywhere." She stays quiet and she's like, "He's your husband's friend. Do you know who I'm talking about?" And I was like, "Absolutely. It is one of his very close friends that passed years ago, about maybe 10, 11 years ago." And immediately I was floored because how could she possibly know this? His description, the fact that he's my husband's friend, So we start talking and she's like, "I have another question. Is this space blessed?" And I said, "Well, I cleanse it about once a week just because you never know who's walking into your area. So I always cleanse it. I burn sage, I burn incense, just a whole bunch of stuff." And she says, "Yeah, I can tell that this place is kind of protected because he is standing behind you and he's telling me something. He's talking. He wants to say something, but I don't understand what he's saying because his words are just jumping off the walls. And that normally happens when your place is protected." And I was like, "Yes." Then she asks me, "Are you intrigued by Ouija boards?" And I said, "I collect them." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from you. And all I have to say is don't do it. I don't mess with them. I don't play with them, but I've been wanting to play with one for a long time." And she said, "Don't do it." Then she proceeds to tell me, "Hasn't anybody told you that you're a ley line?" And I was like, "Oh, what is that? I don't know what that is." And she says, "Imagine being in a pitch black room and you have a flashlight lit right here." She's like, you're blinded. You can't see anything. But if there's anyone out there, they can see you. And I said, okay. So she says, if you wanted to open your third eye, you'd be able to communicate with spirits. I'm sensing that you have a gift, you just haven't opened it yet. She said, do you always witness weird stuff? Noises, you see things, you hear things, and it always only happens to you. And I said, all the time. All the time. Since I was little, I've always seen stuff. I've always heard things. I've always known things. I've had intuitions. And even now that I'm married, sometimes I would see stuff and I would tell my husband, and he's like, kind of like not believing me because it always happened to me. So she says that it's like if I'm standing in the room with the flashlight on and the spirits can see that they can come to me to communicate. The problem is I can't hear them. I'm not open to that channel yet. So she proceeds to ask me if I'm interested in learning how to open that side and if I want access to it. And I just don't know how I feel. What's crazy is that I've had at least 3 people tell me the same thing, that I have a gift and that's why I'm so intrigued by it. So she says for me not to play the Ouija board because of the gift that I have, that it would just be chaos. It would not be good. And I'm going to take her word for it. I don't plan on playing one anytime soon. But what do you guys think about psychic mediums and being able to see and hear things? Do you believe in that? I'm considering it, but I'm just scared. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna tell you about the time that I went to the Bahamas and I had a really creepy experience. So if you want to hear that, stay here. So I went for a 4-day weekend to the Bahamas with a girlfriend. And so everything was set, right? We were staying at a bungalow in this town in the Bahamas. And everything was fine. It was just the 2 of us. We got there. People were nice. The vibes were vibing, right? Okay. So the first night, we go out to dinner. Then we get back 11 p.m. back. Okay. We go to sleep. So before this all happened, my friend had a dream the week before we were about to leave. And she had a dream that somebody raided our room while we were there and we had to hide. And I was like, girl, no freaking way. So I went to Amazon and I bought this. It was a door latch and it was one that I could take with me. So I took it, and the first night I installed it in the room that we were staying at. And so, flash forward again to that first night, they knocked. And for some reason, we were like, get out of here, get out, whatever. I wrote to the lady that was in charge of the place, and I said, hey, I feel so unsafe. What is this? Somebody's trying to get in our room. Okay, so after a few hours, we went back to sleep because they didn't go into our room. Okay, I know. But anyway, it was just the 2 of us in this small island in the Bahamas. It was scary. And so we go about our day. We are freaked out. We talk to her, and she's really nice, by the way. So it's been a while since 2021 that I went here, and I don't want to say the name of the place because I thought she was really nice, and I don't know. I don't think it was her fault or anything. So I don't want to talk bad about the place. But anyway, so flash forward. The second night, we are very freaked out, but we go to sleep. Nothing happens, or at least we are not awake. We don't hear anything. Okay, so the next day, the second day, there's a cockroach in our room. Yes, there's a cockroach. My friend has a phobia of cockroaches, and I don't like them, but I could tolerate it, and I could smash it. So what I do is I get a towel, I put it on top of the place where it was like a tray. I take it out and I put it outside of our door. Okay? So that's taken care of. Okay, so the third night, we go to sleep. And we're like, okay, hopefully nothing happens. Like, we get back around midnight. We never get back too late. But this time we got back a little bit later than usual, at midnight. We go to sleep, and then around 3 in the morning, they knock on our door. And they say the same thing. Let me in, let me in. So this time I'm totally freaked out because I'm like, the second time they're probably going to try to forcefully get in there. So I call the lady, I call the police. I don't even know the police of the Bahamas. I'm just calling, right? And so after a while, like, we put the iron, we connect it to the wall. We are freaking out. And so we're just like, okay, oh my God, what do we do? Like, I don't know. I was in REM sleep. So you know how difficult it is when you get awoken from REM sleep? It just messes with you. So anyway, we were there, we woke up and had the iron plugged into the wall. We're like, get out, get the beep out. Like, I was going off. And so I wrote to the embassy that night because we ended up hearing sirens, and luckily they didn't go into our room, but nobody checked on us, nothing. The next day, okay? The next day I go out of the room, and remember that cockroach towel that I had put to kill the cockroach? I look at it, and the towel, the white towel, has a boot print on it. Okay? And so I was like, well, there it is. It wasn't a ghost. There is a boot print on that towel. Meaning they're most likely a man. I'm not trying to say it was a man, but it was a big boot, okay? So that happened, and then we're like, oh my freaking, like, I cannot believe this. Like, we came here for a vacation, and now we feel really unsafe. Luckily, we had the latch. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have busted that, right? Anyway, I write to the embassy, and I'm going to insert the letter. And so I write to them, and I speak to the lady. She gives us some money back for our stay and our troubles, and we're like, okay, thank you. But anyway, I just want to hear if anybody has had anything freaky like that happen to them in the Bahamas. Write it in the comments. I want to know. I would not take the trip there again. At least I wouldn't stay there, and I wouldn't take the trip there with just us two. But anyway, that's my story. It was a lot scarier when it happened, but we're safe. Thank God.
Wait, guys, I have to do this right now because I can't stop crying. Look at my hand. Wait, there's no way I could kid that. There's no way. You will not believe what's just happened. And I absolutely, if anybody says this is fake, I don't even care at this point. Something's just happened that I can't explain. I cannot explain. Right, I need to get this out, right, because this is... So, I came to my nan's grave. I'll just cover the picture. Oh, you can't, it doesn't... I came to my nan's grave, right? It doesn't matter anyway. And, to talk to her because I've not visited her in ages. And then I thought I'd call my mum, her daughter, because she'll want to, like, speak to her maybe, like, on the FaceTime. And then when I called my mum went, why did you just call me? I said, what? She went, a message came in my head that I had to hold on to speak to you because I was going to leave my phone downstairs while I went for a nap. So I went, Mum, look. And I just turned the camera around and showed her my nan's grave because I've not been here for 3 years. And she went, oh my God. I said, I told Nan, make sure Mum answers this call as a joke. And my mum got the message. And not only that, you won't believe it. As I turned the camera around to show my mum that there was, I can't actually... I turned the camera around to show my mum that I'd left a little figure of Poppy's on the grave to say, Nan, I know you'd never met Poppy, but you'd love to meet her. And I swear on her grave, because she's right here, a robin with the most red robin redbreast landed on the grave. No one else's. And then it sat on the branch above, just there, and looked down at me. And I fell to the ground, crying to my mum. I couldn't breathe. I went, oh my God. Because I don't know if this is right. I'm going to Google it after this, but I needed to tell you guys. Does a robin mean like a spirit? I can't believe this because with everything going on, I just keep thinking, like, I need to like go and seek some guidance from my nan to make sure that everything's okay and there's no harmful spirits. I can't believe it, Robin. I can't stop shaking. My mum's just sent me a message. Nan will always look after you. It's just come down at the top of the screen. I'll show you the little gift. I left that little gift for her from Poppy. Oh my god, guys. That is just, I need comments on this video to tell me what that means. Because I've never ever in my life experienced anything like that. Like the message to my mum to answer the phone. The robin's back. Oh my god, the robin's back and it's just staring at me. Oh my god.
Y'all really love a good scary story, huh? No, but I'm getting good feedback from the story times, and like I said, they are I'm not here to convince anybody that they're true, but they are true. So many things happen to me, my family, people that are close to us, that there's no possible way that I could even think that ghosts aren't real, or there's or there's other entities, period, walking around. There's no way I could possibly not believe in that stuff. So of course I'm back with another story time. I could write a book, I ain't gonna lie. This story is actually one of, like, they're all scary. They're all fucking scary. Like, yeah, they're all scary, but this particular this particular thing that I saw, I could never ever forget. It's literally like engraved in my mind. Okay, so this story takes place in my family's first home together. Again, sharing a room with my brother. At this point, we already got the bunk beds, so yeah, I sleep on the bottom bunk. So this one's kind of short, but it's fucking terrifying. I'm sleeping, period. I'm sleeping in bed. I remember falling asleep. Out of nowhere, I hear wheezing. If you have asthma or know somebody with asthma, when you wheeze and it's bad, you can hear it. Like, it's like a, oh my God, how can you explain wheezing? It's a specific sound that's coming from the chest area, and you can hear it I can't even, I'm not wheezing. So look up wheezing, look up a video of wheezing, somebody wheezing. That's what wheezing sounds like. And when it's bad, it's bad. You can literally hear it. So I can hear wheezing. I can hear heavy breathing. The room gets so fucking cold. And I'm like, I open my eyes, but I know I'm still dreaming. I open my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck? So in the front of our bunk bed, there was a bureau. What's that in English? A dresser. And on top of that is our TV. We had a DVD player, VCR, whatever. I say that to say the wheezing was coming from there. I'm facing the wall. So I'm like, what the fuck? But I turn over. Right when I turn over, I see what is wheezing. And it literally made my heart drop to my ass. There is a man. I'm gonna describe him because it was terrifying. There was a man, an old man. He was skinny, long beard, eyes sunken in. He was so skinny, I could see his bones and his veins were popping out, like very colorful, popping out, like he was just skin and bone. And like very, very old, white hair, white beard, long, wheezing. He had those things in your nose that they put in your nose when they're trying to give you oxygen. He's so solid. I thought somebody was in my room. Like, I thought somebody got into my room. At this point, like I said, I'm thinking I'm dreaming, but even thinking about it now, I don't know what state I was in. Because like I said, he was solid. Like, I couldn't see through him or nothing. He was a man. He lifted his hand up, like, hold on. He's standing there, right up, like, excuse me. He's standing there. He's looking, the window's this way and the wall is that. He's looking that way. He turns to me, goes like this, and points at me. Bro. What? Points at he's shaking, so his hand is like this, like, he like that, and he pointed right at me. At this point, the breathing, the wheezing, everything is loud, like loud. And I'm realizing now, when you do come across a ghost, whatever you want, an entity, paranormal, whatever you want to call them. Everybody calls them something. I call them entities or ghosts or whatever the case may be. Whenever you come across them, for some reason, everything becomes more heightened. Smell, your hearing, if they touch you, that shit hurts. Like, everything is more heightened. So his breathing, his wheezing is loud as hell. Once he points at me, all I can hear is like he breathing. He walks towards me, like he takes a couple steps towards me, and then he's gone. I forgot to say, he's in a nightgown. So, all right, he's in a nightgown. It looks like he's a hospital patient. He's a hospital patient. That's what he looked like. He took this step towards me, like 1, 2, vanished. Breath and all. Just gone. This is where the story gets really fucking weird. I get up. I go out into the living room like I'm terrified. I run out the room. I go into the living room to my mom. Why is she crying on the phone? She crying with somebody on the phone because guess who just passed away? One of her friends or family members or something like that literally just told her that I think it was their uncle or their grandfather or somebody literally just passed away in the hospital. And when he passed away, he was on that breathing tube because he couldn't breathe. He died of asthma or respiratory issues or something. So he was on that tube to breathe. As she told me that, I literally blurted out what I just saw and what just happened to me because she's asking me why am I in the living room. I described this man head to toe, including his gown and the air tube that was in his nose. She hung up that phone so fucking fast. She said, Ashley, what are you talking about? So I repeated myself, verbatim. I said the same thing that I had just said. No, I didn't bump over nothing. I didn't stumble over a goddamn thing. I told her exactly what the fuck just happened to me and why I'm in the living room, why I'm crying and shaking, sweating. She told me I described to the T what their family member looked like. So, if you haven't already guessed it, yeah. That night, their family member came to visit me after they passed away. And my mom thinks this because she's friends with the person, I'm her daughter, and my gift, I didn't, not shun it, but I didn't throw it to the side as my mom did. And I was still of age that my powers or my gift or whatever was still being developed. So whoever that was, instead of going to my mom, it came to me. Or he came to me, rather, to be respectful. He didn't harm me. He didn't hurt me. He scared the fuck out of me, but it's because I was a child and he looked fucking scary. This was, it took longer for me to say the story than I thought. So I guess, long story short, or whatever the case may be. But until we meet again, guys, love ya. And this is also a story to say that every time you see something, it's not always that they're trying to harm you, hurt you, scare you. Sometimes they're just passing over and they might pop in and give somebody a visit.
What's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about it?
Okay, so the creepiest thing that happened to me was years ago. I was living in Georgia with my mom and I used to smoke a lot of weed then. So this particular day, I was like super fucking high to the point that, you know, that high that you gotta lay down. Like, it's like the high that you like, take a nap, bitch, or you gonna die. Like, I'm dying. So my mother was at the head of her bed. It was a window over her bed. And I was laying at the bottom of the bed. So she was like laying at the head of the bed watching TV. And I'm laying like at the bottom of the bed and I'm facing the window. So I'm just laying there, and it's like that. We like chit-chatting a little bit, but it was that high that like I could not keep my eyes open. And I'm just like dozing off and like so high. I felt so good. And then I look up and I see two nuns coming by, but they didn't have black and white on. They had on beige and off-white instead of black and white. I was freaked out. I told my mother, I was like, Mom, Oh guys, the craziest thing about that was they wasn't walking by or coming towards, they was literally like floating by, and they was side by side. So if I'm laying down and I'm looking at them, they was like just passing by me, like the window. And they was, I don't even know how to explain it. That's how I know it was ghosts, because it was like they was side by side each other, and they had off-white, and then the rest of it was cream, like a darker color cream. And the crazy thing about that story is my mom had just like almost died. Like, I mean, she had the worst aneurysm that anyone, we don't even know how she alive. She had several brain surgeries. She have a metal plate in her head to this day and short-term memory loss. And she made it through, but we have several family members that passed, and I'm sure that was like the angel. They was walking, they was watching her, like keeping her safe, obviously. Yeah.
Story time of when I moved into my first apartment and it turned out to be haunted. Now, this story took place in Brooklyn, New York, 2010. Typical time when I wanted to move out my mom's house and I was like ready to get my own place. So boom, I gave the landlord a call and we decided to meet up to view the apartment. So, okay, so he shot me the address and I got there before him. So now I'm just waiting out the building for him and waiting for him to arrive. And that's the time I'm waiting for him to arrive, I've noticed there's a lot of cats in the neighborhood. Now, I didn't think nothing of it until two cats come around and just started fighting in front of me out of nowhere. Now, mind you, I got a thing for cats. For some reason, ever since I was a kid, cats will arrive in strange current events. Mind you, these cats are fighting tooth and nail in front of me. Okay? And I didn't think nothing of it because I'm so excited. I'm about to get my keys into my first apartment. Like, I'm not even thinking, yo, this is like a red flag here. So anyway, the landlord finally arrives. And I'm not thinking nothing about the cats, whatever. So we go inside, we view the apartment. I loved it. Everything is legit. He said I could move in the first. Great. The first weekend, nothing. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't get a chance to fill into an apartment because, you're excited. Your adrenaline is up. Now, the second week, that's when the strangest shit started to happen. Now, my first strange encounter was I was in my bedroom sitting down and I started hearing footsteps coming from my hallway. Now, I'm peeking, I'm looking. I'm thinking to myself, man, I live on the first floor. And this is the type of building that, like, you could literally see people walking by like the front window because I'm in the first floor or whatever. So if you push the curtains, you could actually see like the sidewalk and stuff. So I didn't think nothing strange of it. I'm just thinking it's people until the second encounter when I was in the bathroom. I was in the shower and I heard footsteps now a little bit closer behind my bathroom door. Now I stopped everything. I'm like, okay, this is a little freaking. This is freaking me out. This is not coming from upstairs. I peeked out the bathroom. I looked around, didn't see anybody. So I kind of like shook that off a little bit. I mean, I find it a little strange, but I encountered some strange shit in my life, so I didn't really like think heavy of it until the third week. Now I come home from work, I wanted to wash my hair, and as you're washing your hair, when you got your eyes closed, the soap is in your eyes, and a little intrusive thought starts to pop up in your head. Now, mind you, I'm alone. You know what I'm saying? My first time being alone by myself, everything seems a little bit, eerie and scary because you're by yourself. Now, as I'm washing my hair, I have this strange, eerie feeling that someone is standing next to me. Like I could literally feel a presence standing next to me. Now, mind you, I'm a very intuitive person. I could see, smell, hear energy like no other. So I'm washing my hair real quick, trying to peek and open my eyes like, okay, yo, who the fuck is standing in front of me? I look over, I look around, I don't see anyone, but I do feel a fucking presence. Now, my big mistake was I didn't cleanse the place. I didn't cleanse the apartment. That was my bad. So I hit my mom up and I told her what's going on. And she's looking at me like, so you need to tell me you moved into this place without cleansing it? She's like, you're supposed to remove whatever energy, whatever presence that was there, you got to move it out to make sure that, your energy is there and, everything is good. I'm like, yeah, I know, Mom, but I didn't get a chance to do that. Can you come through and do it for me? She said, I don't got time. I'll do it like,
the following week when I get the chance and come around, I'm like, all right, boom. Now, this is when it starts to get a little bit more strange. I'm heading to sleep the following night, and my TV just popped, it just turned on. So I'm like, all right, hold on a second. My television is just turned on by itself. Now I'm starting to freak out. Now I'm looking around to see if I sat on the remote or something. I'm like, maybe it was just me. And I'm like, nah, my remote control is across from me. So yeah. So now I'm starting to feel like, okay, yeah, there's definitely someone in this household, a spirit walking around. So I called my mom again, and I was like, Ma, I feel like you need to come here ASAP, you know what I'm saying, and cleanse this space for me, because, yeah, there's something going on. Now, mind you, I didn't want to move out. This is my first place. I wasn't trying to move back to my mom's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, as soon as she cleanses this place and everything is good, then, I could go about my business. Nah, it didn't happen like that. So at the time being, my mom told me to just stage the place and stuff like that until it's time for her to come and bless the whole entire apartment and to get rid of whatever lingering spirit that was there. I did that. It worked for a few days, maybe like a week or whatever, until the following week later, it started happening again. Now this time it got a little bit more stranger. And so anyway, as I'm sleeping, I could feel a presence standing in front of me. And now I'm like, okay, now I can't sleep, because I'm opening my eyes and I'm like, I feel a presence in front of me. I toss and turn. I try to fall asleep. My alarm finally goes off, and I'm trying to open my eyes. And as I'm trying to open my eyes, I go into a deep sleep paralysis. Now this is the part when it gets scary. As I'm trying to get up from this sleep paralysis, I felt a heavy presence jump over me and landed on my bed. My bed actually shook. Like it bounced up and down. Now mind you, I can't fucking move. I'm fighting for my life trying to get up, and I'm panicking. Now I go into this deep trance sleep, and as I'm in a deep trance sleep, I noticed that I'm in a vivid, crazy dream. And I'm like, okay, I'm going through a sleep paralysis. I felt like it was a dream, but it wasn't. It was me, my spirit, really walking around the house as I was still asleep. It was kind of like an out-of-body experience. Now I'm walking around my apartment, and my apartment seems a little tad bit old. It's not how I viewed it, not how I decorated. I felt like I went back in time of when this apartment was first built. I noticed weird furniture, old furniture, even a gas lamp or whatever. And I noticed that it was sunny outside, but when I opened the door, it was dark. Now, I don't know what was going on between the times or whatever realms that I was in, but I know my body shot back. I shot back into my body. I popped up and jumped up from the sleep paralysis, whatever. I forgot to mention that I was saying the prayer at the time, and I got up immediately. Now, at that time, I put my clothes on and I went straight to my mom's house. I was like, no, I'm not having this shit. I went to my mom. I even called out that day from work. I went to my mom. I was like, Mom, you need to come to my house immediately. Okay? This is what happened. This is what's going on. And she was like, oh, you sure it's not a known present, spirit that I'm familiar with? And I'm like, no, this is not family. This is not a close relative. This is somebody else. Now, my mom looked at me and was like, oh, no. So she went and got some few, spiritual items for me to cleanse the house, some prayers and stuff like that. And she said, as soon as you walk into your apartment, this is what you're going to do. She came afterwards, but, she helped me cleanse the place up and everything. But the strange thing I forgot to mention, every time I encountered this spirit, the cat that was in front, from the beginning of the story, it was a brown cat, was always by my windowsill, my bedroom windowsill. I could be literally sleeping, and I'll open and I would look at my window in my bedroom and see the cat on the windowsill, because again, I'm on the first floor. So anyway, fast forward, we cleansed the apartment, And we got rid of whatever lingering spirit that was there. Because at this time, the energy was just getting thicker and thicker, and I didn't want to get any worse. You know what I'm saying? And when you encounter something like that, you definitely want to handle it ASAP. So this right here is a period of what, 3 freaking weeks? But shortly after, like 2 months or 3 months after, no, it was like 3 months afterwards, I decided to fucking find another place. Because at that time, it was other things that I was encountering, like, you know, rodents, water damage. It's kind of like, at that time, I just felt like my spirit team was just basically pushing me out that apartment. They didn't want me there at all. The cats would still arrive, you know, started arriving even more. I will come home from work and there'll be cats like near my door or cats near my windowsill outside. I just got this eerie feeling of they just wanted me the fuck out. So yeah, I got out of there. They shoved me out of there. My spirit team got me out of there. And I ended up finding a better apartment that wasn't haunted. So yeah, that's my spooky story.
Like I said, we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal this your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you. And also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, womb, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It even has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick of all the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you'll need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels. And let's see. A 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol's there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that. And the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell and basically grow your finance, grow your love, self-love, self-admiration, chance to say to yourself to give you that extra energy to go about your day. And also tips to enhance your spell. Oh, I already said this. And morning coffee abundance prosperity spell. You guys remember I just shared a video about morning coffee and how important it is when it comes to hoodoo, and how you can basically use your first cup of coffee in the morning to manifest a better life or a better day, or to bring forth money to you. So don't let, you know, you're already doing these things anyway, so you might as well just incorporate something a little bit extra to basically boost your thing. And here's to influence your boss spell. So this one, I'm sure people who are actually working are going to love this. It's to influence your boss and attract favors towards you at work. Because look, in this economy, we're all working and we need some boost at work, and we also sometimes need to be tied to our job, so therefore you don't get fired. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that you could do to basically tie yourself to your job, and or tie the job to you. And once you're done and you're all tired of that job, you can get rid of it. It's not something that's completely permanent, but use magic, guys. It's here for you to use. You have the herbs in your closet, you have the herbs in your pantry, you have the candles that you could just simply buy some candles super cheap. Use magic to elevate your life. Use magic to make yourself better. Let me tell you, Jesus was out here using magic, okay? Walking on water and stuff and turning water into wine. Sounds like magic to me. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.